Let's talk about Laura Ingraham. She has a show on Fox News. The program has been repulsive and revolting for a long time. That's not news. The most recent time we talked about Laura Ingraham, it was when she equated child internment camps for immigrant children to summer camps. That was about, I guess it was about a month or two ago. But now it's been taken to a new level because Ingraham is spouting straight up white nationalism in prime time on Fox News. I've often talked about code that's used to bait people. This kind of relates to our conversation at the top of the show about race baiting. So if you have some political savvy, you don't straight up say black and brown people are horrible and are destroying our country. You speak in double entendres. You say the values we hold dear are at risk as a result of immigration from underprivileged parts of the world, right? You word it in a way where you're kind of hiding behind language. You don't say uncontrolled gun ownership is fine, except when it's black people. No, you don't say it that way. You say enforcement of gun laws must focus on low-income populations in urban areas who are obtaining guns specifically to commit crimes, right? Or again, however you want to phrase it. Laura Ingraham went on a rant about demographic changes destroying our country, and this is one of the features of the Trump era. And I call it a feature because Trumpists like this. It's now more acceptable in the milieu of the 2018 Trumpists to say straight up a lot of the things you used to feel some shame about saying and you would hide behind ambiguity or double meanings. Here's Laura Ingraham straight up saying America no longer exists because of demographic changes as a result of both illegal and legal. Remember, they used to say that legal immigration is fine. Legal immigration is also part of why we've lost America.
Because in some parts of the country, it does seem like the America that we know and love doesn't exist anymore. Massive demographic changes have been foisted upon the American people. And they're changes that none of us ever voted for, and most of us don't like. From Virginia to California, we see stark examples of how radically, in some ways, the country has changed. Now, much of this is related to both illegal and, in some cases, legal immigration that, of course, progressives love.
So they run B-roll over her shoulder of Hispanics harvesting food. She wouldn't eat if it weren't for those illegal and legal immigrants that she claims to be so concerned about. They literally put up the B-roll that proves why these individuals are so important to the United States being the United States of America. Listen to what she's saying. America as we know it no longer exists because of demographic changes brought on by immigration. Cut the doublespeak. Demographic changes means a lower percentage of white people due to a higher percentage of non-white people. When she says because of immigration, that is saying America is no longer what it once was. It's no longer real America because there's too many brown people that have come in. The people who are single-handedly supporting her eating food and assimilating nutrition and nutrients so that she can remain alive.
Yeah, she says it doesn't seem like the America we know. Sounds kind of like an observation rather than her making a point. If she was to make a point, then she'd have to go into the statistics of, you know, the population of white people declining. But she doesn't even want to get into that. She just wants to make it about feeling.
And the most important element of this is the word foisted. The word foisted, demographic changes have been foisted upon America. To foist is to impose something that's unwelcome, right? Most of the immigration to the U.S. has been legal in accordance with the laws of the country. When white people came from Europe and came to what is now the United States and killed endless Native Americans, that is demographic change foisted upon a population, violently so. People moving to the U.S. like they've moved to the U.S. since the beginning of the country is not the violent foisting she's trying to frame. What she's saying did happen, it just isn't over the last 20 years because of people coming from Latin America to work in the restaurant industry and in the agriculture industry, and of course, in every industry, including medicine and law and everything else. It's how the country was created. There was demographic change foisted upon the people who were already in the country, and it's called when white people came here and killed Native Americans. And by the way, I mentioned this. She mentions that both illegal and legal immigrants are part of the problem. I thought Republicans were still claiming they only are against illegal immigration. I guess she's now including both of those. And I don't know how this woman has a single sponsor left at this point. She's saying she wants a white country. She's saying the real America is a white America, and we've lost that. And apparently Fox News, I guess, tacitly is okay with this. One of the top 3 cable networks in the country is not reacting to what she said. I guess they like it.
Yeah, and also Laura Ingraham does have 3 adopted children from foreign countries.
Oh,
one
well,
from Russia, 2 from Russia, and 1 from Guatemala. I wonder how they would feel about this comment.
I'm sure, unfortunately, I'm sure that they are completely brainwashed by Laura Ingraham. If they're even old enough to be, I have no idea about any of these individuals. But, you know, making the argument that she couldn't possibly be racist because she has a Hispanic daughter or son, that's called identity politics. And I thought that they were against that. So I'd be curious to see whether she makes that argument. Discuss this with us on our Reddit discussion forum, davidpakman.com/REDDIT. Today's program sponsored in part by Movement. You guys have heard me talk about Movement. It's those college dropouts that started their own watch company, which has grown like crazy. They've sold almost 2 million watches in over 160 countries. I still wear my Movement watches every single day. I've got 2 of them. The watches start at just $95. They revolutionize fashion, and they don't believe that style should break the bank. I would advise you not to go to one of those department stores and spend $400 or $500 on a watch that, quite frankly, doesn't look that good and looks like it's out of the 1910s. Perfectly great stuff came out of that phase, but it's a little bit outdated at this point. Check out the site. They've doubled the number of watch styles. They continue to expand. They've not only introduced new watch collections for men and women, they've got sunglasses, which I used during my recent road trip on the West Coast. They also have fashion-forward bracelets for her. And my favorite style continues to be the one that I have, which is sort of like I guess it's called the chronograph. I don't know what these things are called. I just know that they look good. And one suggestion to check out also is the Revolver collection, which I like. 15% is what you can save today with free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/Pakman. These make great gifts for yourself or somebody else. Check out the expanding collection at mvmt.com/Pakman. 15% off, free shipping, free returns.